And I was like, okay. So I was like, okay, we'll go. We said we drove to go. Oh my God.
What's upstairs?
It's like, no, it's a whole nother casino, but it's like based on bingo. It smells like the gray. It was a lot. I will say he was really upstairs. He did give us some help. And that's all I did. I didn't know. And they gave me guys something in the mail. It was $20 done out. I'm really upset they did it.
Works on a lot of people. My son said, Dad, I got to figure out how to get these casinos inside Sunday. Actually, would entice.
I had to unsubscribe, and so it's taking time to like send me emails.
You are at 7:01.
I did it once. I'm not doing it yet.
I'm never bringing you cookies again, sure.
It's gonna be a long night. I couldn't find my name on the box. Good evening. The time is now 7:02, and I would like to call the Beloit City Council meeting order at this time. Can we have a roll call, please?
There are 6 counselors present, with Counselor Duncan absent. There is
Item,
quorum.
item 2, Pledge of Allegiance. May we all stand, please? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 3, special orders of the day and announcements. We have none. Item 4, 4A, please.
Consideration of Resolution 2018-197 authorizing an exception to Section 34.15 Sub 1 of the Architectural Review and Landscape Code for the property located at 548 Broad Street.
Ms. Christensen.
Corporate Contractors, on behalf of Bryden Motors, has filed for this exception. Section 34.151 of the Architectural Review and Landscape Code states that no more than 25% of the exterior walls of a non-industrial building may be metal. This property is also located in the BID, which has elevated design standards for the exterior facade of structures, and they actually have a committee that reviews it. What they're proposing is the installation of this siding, which is a metal span CF tough wall panel, and there is what they call, I guess, a cut sheet, which is this in your packet, which explains what it is and information about it. Initially, staff recommended denial because this was the sample we received, and it just did not seem to have the appearance we would like. We saw this panel, well, we saw as they put it on the building, but we saw this panel at the Plan Commission meeting, and Plan Commission reviewed it and had significant discussion and recommended approval of the exception. And it is on your agenda tonight for public hearing and action. Also, initially, the Downtown Beloit Association Design Committee recommended denial. And Shauna came to the Plan Commission meeting and kind of made some comments on it, which she may make tonight as well, and then took it back to the committee after getting this material, because she thought the same thing about this material, and took it back to their committee on Wednesday, November 21st, and they reconsidered their original recommendation and has recommended approval.
Thank you.
Oh, and I promised Judy Robeson that I would let you know that it was not her intention with the recommendation for approval to overrule the DBA Design Committee, and she wanted to make sure you knew that she respected that committee, and I think part of the reason that she voted for the exception was because Shauna had expressed support for this new sample that we saw. But I promised her that I would communicate that to the council. So.
Okay, thank you. At this time, I would like to open the public hearing on item 4A. Anyone wishing to speak on item 4A this evening, please step forward, state your name and address for the record. Second call, anyone wishing to speak on item 4A. Third and final call, anyone wishing to speak on item 4A. Seeing none, I will close the public hearing on item 4A and entertain a motion from council. Motion by Preschel, is there a second? Second by Blakely. Any questions or comments? I guess I would have one. There was one person that voted against that. And then I guess I would be interested to hear Shauna's comments as to the change also.
There is a person on Plan Commission who just really doesn't like the exceptions. And so she often recommends denial when it comes to if we're approving an exception. She feels that the ordinance should be written more narrowly. She's actually stopped me in the grocery store and talked to me. So she feels that this should be written more narrowly so that there's not, that we should rewrite the ordinances so that the exceptions are rare and few and far between. So that would be her preference. We don't actually see this many metal exceptions, so.
Okay.
But I did make a commitment that I would try to see if there was a way to craft an ordinance that would allow this but not allow this. So I'm going to try to meet with AYA, who is an architectural firm who has some experience with these samples, and see if there's something we can come up with to more thoroughly define that.
Okay, thanks.
You didn't need these, did you?
I don't think so. No. So initially they had given us a sample that was a metal finish, and a metal finish is not recommended for downtown. On looking at the sample, they had given us a tiny card that was supposed to mimic the finish. Our committee was not convinced by that tiny card. So on behalf of them, they did submit the final large version, and it does mimic the card, but they couldn't get a touch and feel and realistic view of this. Not only that, but this technology is very new. It's something that provides insulation for your building, helps with maintenance, helps with deterioration, lasts a long time. Mr. Bryden actually has his other store is in Durand, and that one has had this product for about 15 years, and he's never had any problems with it. After going and touching and feeling the building, it does have a stucco finish, which a stucco finish is approved in downtown. So we wanted to make sure that we got that back to the committee and the Plan Commission with the actual sample, and that's what our committee was able to approve.
Okay, so when you said go touch and feel the material
The
on the
building.
building, so it's already there.
It is, yes. They took a gamble on it. They did put it in, knowing that if it wasn't approved, they could cover it up and it would still provide the building with enough insulation.
Okay. Okay. There is a motion and a second. All those in favor of approval say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, passes 6-0. Item 5 is public comments. We do have one individual that filled out a sheet. However, you do not have to fill out a sheet at this portion of the agenda. However, when you come forward, we ask you to state your name and address for the record. We will limit your comments to 3 minutes. However, we ask you to refrain from personal attack on council, staff. If we seem to go down that road, I would ask you to sit down immediately. Majority of the time, when you make the comments, council may not engage in dialogue or take the issue up. What we will do is pass it on to the appropriate person. So we have Mr. Tom Rogers. If he can come forward, state your name and address for the record, please.
Hello, my name is Tom Rogers, and our address is actually a business address, and it's the State Line Industrial Park. And so I'm actually here representing Palmer Donovan Sealright. We were in the process of moving into a facility in the State Line Industrial Park. And I really just wanted to introduce ourselves so you guys had a good idea of who we are. We do have a press event that's happening tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Where there will be some state legislators, things of that nature there. Actually got to meet a builder tonight, which is pretty cool. But what we do is we manufacture front entry doors for residential homes. And so our facility will bring about 90 jobs to Beloit, and we plan on growing as well. So we hope on bringing over 100 jobs to the city. So obviously something that most businesses have been talking about is the employee shortage. The labor market's really tight, and we're in a position where we're looking to hire en masse. So really, any resources or any ways that you can point us in areas where we could find people would be great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome, Beloit.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else wishing to speak under public comments this evening? Anyone else wishing to speak under public comments? Seeing none, I will close that portion of the agenda. Move to item 6, please.
All items listed under the consent agenda are considered routine and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a counselor so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered at this point on the agenda.
Is there any counselor liking to remove from the consent agenda? Seeing none, I entertain a motion for approval. Motion by Jacobson. Is there a second? Second by Forback. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of approval of the consent agenda say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, passes 6-0. Item 7, licenses 7A, please.
Consideration of resolution 2018-205 for approval denial of 2017 through 29 applicants for the alcohol beverage operator bartender's license for the period of November 12th through the 26th. What you have before you is 4 recommendations for approval, 1 recommendation for denial, and the time period to appeal has passed for that denial.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve? Motion by Blakely, second by Forback. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of approval say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, passes 6-0. Item 8 in ordinances, 8A, please.
Consideration of ordinance number 3633, annexing the property located at 1014 Froebel Drive in the city of Beloit.
Ms. Christensen, please.
Suzanne Damon has submitted a petition for direct annexation for the property located at 1014 Froebel Drive in the town of Beloit. The applicant resides in the existing single-family dwelling on the property. The existing septic system is failing and needs to be replaced. She's in the process of selling the property, and the failing system is a barrier to the sale of the property. So she'd like to be connected to the city's sanitary sewer system. There is an existing sanitary main in Froebel Drive in front of the property located at 1030 Froebel Drive, which was annexed in 1992. The city engineers determined that this sanitary sewer line can be extended to the east to provide sanitary sewer service to the property after annexation. It is located within the city's sewer service area. The annexation plat also includes a 60-foot wide by 220 long section of Froebel Drive right-of-way, which will make the subject property contiguous to the city of Beloit. Planning Commission reviewed this item on November 20th and voted to approve the request.
Thank you. Is there a motion laid over to our next meeting?
I so move.
Motion by Forback. Is there a second? Second by Anderson. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of laying it over to our next meeting say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, passes 6-0. Item 9, appointments. There are none. Item 10, council activities and upcoming events. Councilor Forback. Turn the mic on.
Well, the 7th is going to be a fun time in downtown, so I'm looking forward to that. I remember attending the first one when I was at the chamber, and we were all together with the DBA, and it was very exciting to have this new kind of celebration, and it's going spectacularly well. So that's wonderful, and I guess that's all.
Council Preschel.
I'll mention that December 7th, this Friday evening until 9 o'clock, it's called Holidazzle, and I'll be there working, and it's a pretty good turnout, and weather doesn't really matter. People show up for this one. Also, I want to let everybody know that we're going to have, December 17th, we're going to have What the Tech at Grinnell Hall at 1 o'clock on Monday the 17th, instead of skipping the month altogether. It's been very popular, and I had 5 people there after the snowstorm on Monday. I almost canceled it because of the snowstorm, and I didn't. Then we had 5 people show up. Yeah, so it's very popular. So anyway, 17th at 1 o'clock at the Grinnell Hall. That's all.
Councilor Jacobson.
I just want to send my condolences to the city manager's family. Sorry, Kevin.
Thanks, Brad.
She lost her father-in-law, and so we're all thinking about her and her family. And I'm sure Pam Lathrop's watching the council meeting tonight. And we want to tell her happy birthday, which is tomorrow.
Should we sing?
Pardon me?
Should we sing?
Should we sing?
Do you want us to sing?
No, we're not going to sing tonight. But we appreciate everything she does for city council. She helps keep us on our toes, and organized. That's all I have.
Counselor Anderson.
No report.
Counselor Blakely.
I went to Grinnell Hall's open house last Saturday. It was really wonderful. I go to the building now and then because I have friends who are members, or I've helped conduct classes in creativity. I took a class there myself in Spanish. Don't anybody ask me to speak more than 2 sentences on Espanol, however. And I just wanted to recommend Grinnell Hall to the community. It's really a gem of Beloit. It's a great senior center up on Bluff Street. And they happen to be having, I don't have my note that explains more about it. Check online or give Grinnell Hall a call because they're doing a special Christmas show, holiday show on Friday. It's a wonderful place. You can buy Christmas ornaments. You can play cards. Seniors can buy very inexpensive lunches there. It's really wonderful. I took ukulele lessons once. No, don't anybody, Kevin, ask me to play the ukulele ever, but Grinnell Hall itself is pretty wonderful. Coming up this Thursday evening here in the Forum, there is going to be a badge ceremony for the police department. Chief Zabalski will be leading the ceremony, and we'll be welcoming 2 patrol officers, Roman Bailey and Zachary Steck, I believe you pronounce his name. So everyone is welcome to come celebrate these new members of our police department team. It starts at 6 o'clock here Thursday evening.
Thank you. I would also like to extend condolences to the Luther family with much prayer and thoughts. We just want everyone to know that family is very important. I said around Thanksgiving, so it's very important. And usually around the holiday time, and something like this happens, it's even more tough on people because it is a holiday time. So our thoughts and prayers are with the family. Also, thanks to our wonderful snow plowing guys for our big first snowfall, in the streets were wonderful. No complaints. There were several cities that did close, but Beloit stayed open, and we were able to get around. So we want to thank them that who stayed on top of everything to make the road safe for us. So hats off to them, and I'm sure they got more work coming up soon. So just be patient with them as they do their job. And as I often say, and I'll say it again, whether you believe it or not, they don't sit down the street and wait for you to clear your driveway and then come and plow you back in. So I just want to say that. So with that, we'll move on to City Manager's presentation. There is none. And item 12, reports from boards and city officers. 12A, please.
The City Council may adjourn into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin Stats 19851G. Counsel for the governmental body who is rendering oral or written advice concerning strategy to be adopted by the body with respect to litigation in which it is likely to become involved, namely to discuss the petition for review of determination by the State Board of Assessors for manufacturing property filed by Carey, Inc.
Is there a motion to go into close? Motion by Jacobson, second by Presho. Questions or comments? Seeing none, we are in closed. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, we're all in closed. Thank you.
And 26. Yeah, just a title, and then you can defer to Beth. Okay, we are now back in open session. To consider resolution authorizing litigation and appointment of special counsel to represent the city in all proceedings relating to the 2018 assessment of certain manufacturing property owned by Carey Inc.
Good evening. Carey Inc. has filed an objection to their 2018 tax assessment cases for their manufacturing properties at 3400 Millington and 3330 Millington Road. The city does have an interest in these properties, although the assessment is conducted by the state. What I'm asking for tonight is just authorization to file a cross petition in that case so that we have a seat at the table during these hearings. And then also authorizing that Ted Wiskowski and Meg Vergerond represent the city in those proceedings.
Is there a motion to that? Motion by Preschel. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Forbeck. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of approval say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Passes 6-0. Item 13 is adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn? Motion by Jacobson. Is there a second? Second. Second by Anderson. Questions, comments? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, we are adjourned. Thank you.